first 2 races of the season. He would make history if he can make it 3 in a row.
Your little way to hurt me, you know just how to tear me up. Leave me in small pieces on the ground. You got your little way to hurt me, then I do it real tough. One cold look from you knocked me down.
TNN Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the Hardee's Frisco 250 from Richmond, Virginia International Raceway. Mother Nature has not been kind. You see that low overcast hanging over the speedway. It's only 41 degrees here. The humidity is high, and yesterday it snowed all day, canceling most of the track's activity.
The way they'll roll off today, based mainly on point standings. Chad Little, winner at Daytona and Rockingham. Terry Labonte, second in points. In row 2, Mark Martin, 3-time winner here at Richmond in the Busch Series, and Johnny Benson, who was 4th last week. In row number 3, Jeff Green with 2 top 10s in the first 2 races, and Jim Bound, who was 6th at Daytona. Rodney Combs is 8th in the points, and Mike Wallace makes his 5th Busch start here. Row number 5, Joe Bessie has 2 top 10s here. Tracy Leslie, 2nd here in 93. Then you'll see Phil Parsons and Jeff Fuller, who's leading in the rookie points. Row 7, David Green, the 94 champion, and Jason Keller, who started on the pole last September here. Larry Pearson, runner-up here in 88, and Doug Hevron, the modified ace from New York. Row number 9, Mike McLaughlin makes his 4th Busch start here. And Curtis Markham ran a Busch race here in 1983. This year, though, he's a rookie candidate. Hermie Sadler was 3rd here 2 years ago, and Bobby Dotter was 6th in 93 here. Kenny Wallace won here last September. Patty Moise makes her 6th Busch start on this track. Morgan Shepherd won a pair of Busch races here in 83. Dennis Setzer won 2 last season. In row 13, Tim Fedowa, 9th here a year ago, and Tommy Houston, who won here in 1982. Then Dale Earnhardt's former crew chief, Kirk Shelmerdine, and Elton Sawyer, who was 4th in this race 1 year ago. Row 15, Stevie Reeves and Bobby Hillen. John Tanner, the road racer, and Greg Clark from New York State. Row 17, Steve Boley from Iowa, and Dirk Stevens, who was real strong here last year. Randy Porter makes his 1st start, as Glenn told you, and AJ's son, Jerry Foyt, making his 2nd Busch start. Finally, you'll have Kevin LePage, the sophomore from Vermont, and rookie L.W. Miller. Buckshot Jones, Joe McCarthy, IMSA Saab champ Jerry Nadeau, John Preston, Robbie Reiser, Shauna Robinson, and from the West Coast, the Northwest Tour, Southwest Tour rather, Dale Williams did not make the field. They took the top 25 on point standings, then last year's winning cars not yet in the field, and then went by entry blanked postmarks to set the starting lineup as per the NASCAR rulebook.
Well, Mike, they're showing 1 lap to go before the green flag, and Darrell's on his way over here in driver's suit, from what I hear.
just barely got out of the car after qualifying, had a word with Pete Peterson and the rest of his crew, and here he came. Here is your AutoZone race analysis, brought to you by the over 1,000 AutoZone stores. 38 cars will start today's race over the 250-lap distance. 98.5 miles an hour is the race record set by Mark Martin. And the qualifying record here was set by Jason Keller last fall, 121.9 miles an hour. One of 3 Busch poles that he won. For the start and the first of 250 laps, Pontiac pace car is in. Chad Little trying to become the first ever to win the first 3 races of the season in a row, and he has the lead going off into turn 1. Terry Labonte right with him. Mark Martin down on the inside as he looks from the backstretch. And Johnny Benson trying to get in line ahead of Jeff Green. Just sneaks in there. Well, big spin on the back straightaway. Steve Boley in the 0.5. He gets it cranked, and we stay green. Nope, he's not moving. Boley's car down to the inside. And Little leads them around. We're going to hold under green as Boley does get fired and pulls away.
We have a race to second place there. You can see that Mark Martin moving into second. He passed Terry Labonte going down into turn 1. Well, I'll tell you what, that's kind of a familiar thing to see Mark Martin going towards the front.
This looks like last week all over again. Chad Little, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, Johnny Benson. There is a bit of smoke from the rear of Tracy Leslie's car. Getting kind of profuse as he goes off into turn 1. He's the 8th place machine. There it is. Detroit Gasket MGM brakes entry. Let's check with Glenn.
Guys, right before the race started, all the talks between the crew chiefs and the spotters and the drivers right before the race started was work the car back and forth, get some heat in the tires. I have a feeling Steve Boley, a rookie here, he had never made a lap on this racetrack. Probably didn't have enough heat built up in those tires. Inexperience can really get you to a place like this.
Thanks, Glenn. He is up and rolling again. Tracy Leslie's car now drops down to the inside. Jason Keller going past.
You can see him doing the hand signal. That means he's coming in the pits. He's moved in, starting down pit road right now. Tracy Leslie was in a lot of trouble there. We have a pass now for the lead. Here comes Mark Martin up under Chad Little. We didn't see this last week. Nobody got close enough to pass him.
Mark Martin has the line into turn number 3, but Little is hanging tough on the outside. That's where you want to be coming off this corner.
Well, Terry Labonte's sitting there in 3rd place. Now, what he needs to do is follow the faster of the two. He'll kind of sit there and let them sort this thing out between each other.
Yeah, but which is the faster of the two?
Well, Chad Little's getting a better bite up off the corner. Looks like Mark's getting in a little bit better.
They take that battle back to turn number 3. Labonte up on the outside. Mark Martin digging hard down on the yellow line. And Little continues to lead. He thoroughly dominated Rockingham. Made a last green lap move to win the Goodies 300 at Daytona.
Woo-hoo. Johnny Benson there in 4th place in the 74 car was sideways coming up out of the corner. He's very lucky to wheel that thing back into contention there.
Going to lap past L.W. Miller in the UniFirst number 18. That's the Sammy Kershaw Todd Bodine car, and also Jerry Foyt getting lapped early. Kirk Shelmerdine, the Big Johnson number 25.
Right front. Messed up on now. Oh, he got in the wall. You can see the whole right side's kind of sandblasted down there.
It's now Flat Johnson on the right side.
We're not laughing at him, folks. It's just a comment there.
Well, the lead battle's gone back single file. I'll show you what happened to Kirk Shelmerdine. Back straightaway. There he is, right side of your screen.
Mike, it's so easy to get in trouble coming off turn 2 over there. The race car actually runs right at the wall, and you have to really turn the car. If you get a little bit too wide, that's what happens.
Right side tires go on. Sheet metal narrowed up a bit.
I would say that car is not going to drive very well from here on out.
Back up front, Chad Little, the Bayer Aspirin number 23. The Winn-Dixie number 60 of Mark Martin. There's the MW windows, the white car number 14, Terry Labonte.
We now have DW present here. He's putting his headset on. I'm sure he can give us a little bit about what the racetrack's like. You just got through that first lap on qualifying. You guys look like you was on ice.
Well, that's the whole thing. You couldn't get any traction. The tires are cold. The track's, cold, and it takes 3 or 4 laps to really get heat built in the tires. First lap, you feel like you got 4 flat tires. Second lap, feel like you got 2 flat tires. Probably by the time you got 3 or 4 in there, it'd feel okay.
Well, let's check with Randy Pemberton.
Well, to update you on Tracy Leslie's problems after starting 10th, I saw him go into turn 1, a big puff of fire from under the car. They claim they have too much oil in the tank, too much in the car, but I speculate it could possibly be an oil leak. It's still leaking just a little bit. No complaints from other drivers, but I think 4 laps down is Tracy Leslie now.
Lead change, Mark Martin.
Mark Martin made that look pretty easy just then. I don't think Chad's got the handle over everybody like he had in Rockingham. He's not getting in the corner quite as well as Mark Martin. Mark is very patient. He waited on him to start running a wider line and then just swept right by.
Well, as good as Mark's car has been, you know, over the last year or so, I can't believe that he could continue to get beat like that.
Look at Jeff Green coming up here. He's now in 3rd place in the famous number 3 there. He just went by Terry Labonte like he was stopped.
Two Fords have taken out a bit of a lead over the two Chevrolets. A bit of irony. The Fords have won all the Busch races. The Chevrolets have won all the Cup races.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit different race car in the Busch Series because it's a 105-inch wheelbase. You know, and maybe the boys in this series, they're not maybe as quick to pick up on the aero things that they are in the Cup Series.
Well, Terry Labonte's reporting right now that his car is too tight, and that's what we talked about before we went on the air. A lot of these guys really put a real safe suspension under these cars, and then they'll take a bite out as they make pit stops.
Well, the cars are new. You know, the Fords are or the Chevrolets are particularly, and you're just kind of guessing on setup for this racetrack because you didn't get any practice.
Battle here is for 15th position. It's led by Rodney Combs in the 43, and he's got a snarling pack with him. Down to the inside is Doug Hebron, the Cincinnati Millicron, number 35, and Elton Sawyer, the Ford Credit Ford, number 38.
Well, Tracy Leslie's car is really smoking badly. It's not hurting the performance of the car, but he's got a bad oil leak of some sort.
Apparently the pit stop for 4 laps did not cure the problem.
Elton Sawyer looks like he's got a really nice car for here. He's past this line of traffic. You see him getting in the corner there, about 2 car lengths better than anybody else.
Sawyer's number 38.
Well, they're having a heck of a race right in there where Sawyer is. I can tell you that. There's about 10 or 12 of them right there just going at it.
He moves up to 16th position. There you see Rodney Combs still caught on the outside with the number 43 and unable to get that car down to the bottom and move up.
Well, we're just about to see some 3-wide racing going down into turn 1. I can promise you there's not room for 3 cars in the corner here, so somebody's got to back out when they get down at the end of the straightaway.
But what happened, buddy, is when we started practice here, the track was wet, but it dried out up near the top, and that's where everybody ran for a while. So guys are trying to figure out if it's safe to get back down on the bottom or not, I think.
Bobby Dotter moves past the World Championship Wrestling number 43, and still Combs caught on the outside. Up at the head of that pack, there's number 59, Dennis Setzer, the Black Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Center's Chevrolet.
Boy, he's had a terrible year so far. He's run so well. He looked like he could win either race that he's been in up till now, and had just awful trouble right near the end of the race. Setzer will win a race before long, though.
I'd say from my experience of watching Mark Martin that these guys are in trouble today because he's got that gap. You ever notice how he gets that 10, 15 car length gap between him and the guy running second, and he just seems to be able to hold that? I got a good idea. He could probably go on if he wanted to.
Here's Curtis Markham on the inside. The Lysol number 63, the Hensley car, moving underneath Doug Hebron. Markham holds the record here for late model stock cars at Richmond. Knows the track well. Ran a Busch race here 12 years ago.
He's one of those kind of drivers that people keep waiting for him to step up and really make some noise. He's had a couple opportunities in Cup to run, and just hasn't been able to take advantage of it. I'm sure he's a talented guy, just hasn't had the right opportunity yet.
Now Bobby Hill and Bobby Dotter, Morgan Shepherd, the 21, making that move fast. Well, these first 25 laps, everybody just seemingly not feeling each other out so much as feeling their own cars out and seeing what they'll do.
I've been really impressed with Joe Bessie this year. He has run so consistent, and you can see no sponsor, no anything, but he's right up there racing with some well-sponsored race cars.
Now, there's a guy that we've seen at times show just brilliance, but always runs into trouble somewhere. I think he's a very talented driver.
I think you're right. Let's have a look at the race for second place. Jeff Green has caught that yellow car, Chad Little, on the right side of your screen.
And the 74 car, Benson there has passed Terry Labonte, too. So a couple little changes near the front here.
This has got to be something really special for Jeff Green. He hadn't had a real great start in this 3 car. And, of course, the fans are used to seeing this car up near the front. And it's just proven that Jeff has the qualities that Dale was looking for when he put him in this car.
I don't know, buddy. You say he's got 2 top 10s in 2 races, so he comes in here 6th in points. I think he's off to a decent start, but you're right. You're used to seeing that car up front, and I think it'll be there for long.
Well, I think he's just using very, very good judgment. He didn't want to get in that car and crash it right off, and people say, "Whoa, Dale, you made a bad mistake." He's just being real conservative, and like you said, he's running 3rd right now, and that car looks strong today.